bigger is better. I don't know. That's clearly why they're
That's how
going.
you use it, that counts.
And that's right, Ali. You would know.
Precious.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gollum's Gamers, where today it is myself and Mr. Ali King here on a Monday afternoon for another emergency podcast. It's been a minute since we've done one of these. Were you on the last one potentially, Ali?
I have no idea.
I think maybe it's been
I
like at
can't even
least a
remember what
month.
the last one was.
We were doing them sort of like every week, it felt like. I think we're up to like episode 10 or 11 of the emergency podcast. But yeah, it's been like at least a month, I think. There was an article for Frecker that went up, I think last week or the week before, which we didn't do an emergency pod on. But seeing as there's a new article today for a new character, we'll also discuss Frecker afterwards. Obviously, lots of people have already kind of seen his rules and things. But today, there's a new article for Lord Thorn of the Wold. That's interesting. Defies his liege Helm Hammerhand in the Middle Earth strategy battle game. So, a new reveal for a new hero. So, Lord Thorn of the Wold is one of many lords of Rohan. Under Helm Hammerhand's rule, an extravagant looking nobleman within what does that word say, Ali? Help me with that.
Ingratiating air.
Ingratiating air. I can't say I've heard that word before, if I'm honest
Have you
with you.
not? God, it's so uncivilized.
Ingratiating. God, sorry about that, guys. Lord Thorn has long since served his liege in times of war and become a trusted advisor. Yet Thorn has great ambition and a lust for power, which could bring his loyalties into doubt. So, starting with the model, this might be one of my favorite new sculpts I think I've seen of any of the like the Rise of Angmar stuff and the new stuff. I like the sort of the lines on the armor that they've done with the gold, like on the wrist pieces and like on the boots.
The thing I'd also say is if it's someone who's not to be trusted, that is definitely a model that looks like someone who you wouldn't really trust.
I hadn't
Like,
really thought about that actually, but looking at his face, yeah, he doesn't look a bit
yeah.
sus.
So it actually conveys what clearly the background is. So
Yeah,
yeah, top job to whoever modeled that one.
you've kind of dug a little bit further there into the character, being shown
Yeah.
through the model, and I like that. I think also the cape, like the fact it's got like
Oh, what the sticky up
the
cape.
Dracula sort of vibe thing going on, right? That's pretty cool as well. But just yeah, and like the tabard he's got on, I'm not sure. Oh, those are like Rohan horses, aren't they? There, um, and like yeah, is that a shield there that the belt goes through? I guess that's like a Rohan shield, probably.
Yeah, or
I think so.
buckler sort
Yeah,
of
yeah, that the
thing.
belt's gone through. But yeah, all the gold sort of trim, and obviously the cape will be very nice on the back to highlight and things. The face looks pretty good as well. So big thumbs up.
Paint job's pretty good as well, which I don't normally say.
What's
The
pretty
paint
good?
the
The
paint
paint
job's
job.
pretty good as well.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the white on the tabard. Yeah, that's cool.
It's probably the most positive we've ever been on a model
I think so
unanimously.
on an actual sculpt. It is Forge World resin though, and they said further down that unlike the other models for the War of the Rohirrim that have been announced, those are in plastic. So this is, I think, maybe the first one, unless Freco was also Forge World
I can't remember.
resin.
We'll find out, or we
But
find out in a minute.
this guy's in resin. So Lord Thorn is the latest character to be revealed for the Middle Earth strategy battle game. A craven lordling of Rohan, sworn to King Helm, whose ambition leads to a betrayal. He is a Rohan hero of fortitude. This is where things kind of get interesting. And the only way usurpers of Edoras players can field traitor Rohan units. In fact, his whole deal is betraying Rohan, as his special rules show. So instead that he's a Rohan hero of fortitude, but the only way usurpers of Edoras players. So it's sort of like there's
So,
two factions there.
so this may be looking into a glimpse into the new edition and how it's built.
Yes, but like
So,
they've clearly
so,
said usurpers of
so,
Edoras players.
so I think Rohan Hero Fortitude will be he's a Rohan sort of keyword. Like we've got
Keyword,
these there's with the Hero Fortitude special
not the
rule.
Rohan faction sort of thing.
Yeah,
Right.
and the usurpers of Edoras is, I mean, it could be a Legion style list led by just him, or it could be like him and the Dunlendings when they go from what we've seen in the trailer attack Edoras.
Yeah, I mean, there
Um,
could be actual factions that everything
mm,
falls into as well, but you can't actually play as the faction. You then play as like
yeah,
the usurpers of Edoras, for example. So,
mm,
but reading into the rules, so the two rules that they've shown: traitor of Rohan. Lord Thorn may only include Rohirrim traitors in his warband, and then Edoras shall fall. During the fight phase, for any Rohirrim traitors within 6 inches of Lord Thorn gain a bonus of +1 to their fight value. So, Rohirrim traitors. What do we think on that? Are they Dunlendings?
No,
Sure.
I think they're probably just Warriors of Rohan that you can take in a Dunlending army list. And
Sure.
I mean, they may have exactly the same profile, but they just call it
That's cool.
something slightly different
That's a bit.
for rules like this, where
Yeah.
because we have had characters before which can be in both good and evil, so it may be he is one of those people who can be, and his Rohirrim traitors would have a different keyword to like normal Rohan guys.
Yeah.
But I mean that's more speculation. But I don't imagine there'd be that much difference between a Rohirrim traitor and a
Mm.
Warrior of Rohan.
Yeah. I mean,
Other
other than
than
they get +1 fight within 6 inches of thingy, fight four.
pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I mean, I guess interesting, yeah, that there's sort of like the good and evil versions, right? So what differences in stat line? Do they have -1 courage, +1 strength, or something like that? Obviously, they get the fight value buff.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there could be other sort of buffs with other heroes and things to the traitors as well. So, and he could have other rules in his profile as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then those were the rules. So unlike his fellow generals Wolf and Frecker, Thorn's miniature it will be in Forge World resin. So
There you go. It says Frecker will be unlike Frecker and Wolf.
yeah, unlike
So Frecker must be plastic.
yeah, he's plastic. So yeah. So I mean, any other thoughts, kind of like on the usurpers like thing? Like this is the first kind of thing we've had, isn't it, where they've said sort of a usurpers of Edoras player. So that is going to be a list, so to speak.
Yeah. So I think it does lean towards the whole thing that I was on about. It's becoming like a Legions of Middle Earth style book.
Yeah.
Um, Also interesting, and we'll get onto it, Frecker, is a lot of these heroes are having bubble buffs,
Yes.
which
They've gone, oh, everyone liked that Dragon Emperor thing. Okay. That on a bit of a small scale.
didn't go wrong at all with that.
No.
But it's a thing that they do in a lot of other GW games. It's like it becomes about the buff bubbles. I mean, I do find it funny how like at the start of the last edition, we had only a couple sort of fight value buffs. By the end of the edition, we had like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And this new edition hasn't even come out yet. We've already got two announced.
Yeah. Let alone whatever others are, in the book or whatever.
So maybe everyone's fight value goes down, but their hero just brings them back up to where they were. But
yeah,
we'll find out, I'm sure. But no, main takeaway from this is there's a usurper army list, and the model's really cool.
Model's cool, and I guess as well, like sort of where it seems all of these legions, like you say, are going to be based around thematic things that happened in the film. So if there is a key moment like a defense of Minas Tirith or something like that, like key moments, that's what they want to capitalize on. So instead of having legendary legions, they just have these actual lists which summarize those key moments that happen. So there's the usurping of Edoras, for example. So it seems like that's what everything is going to fall into. Potentially seems fairly likely, I think. But okay, that is this guy, Lord Thorn of the Wold. What is the Wold? Is that a place?
I would presume so.
Must be. Is that place in Rohan? Like, I don't know. I haven't heard that before. But okay, we'll move on to Frecker. So Frecker was announced, a couple of weeks ago. Is the article the 16th? So yeah, a couple of weeks ago. So Feldeed's awake. It's time for another reveal. So this guy, Frecker, Lord of the West March, okay, a hefty and cruel man of Dunlindish heritage. Frecker is known across Rohan for his arrogance and his pride. His overriding ambition is to secure the throne of Rohan for his son, Wolf. Okay, so I didn't realize he was the father of Wolf.
Did you not?
No, I didn't really.
Oh, you're really not.
I just heard what other people said about it, to be fair. I didn't really. I just thought the profile looked a bit. Yeah. So it's this vain aspiration that leads him into conflict with Helm. Despite being a Lord of Rohan, Frecker can still call upon his ancestral people in times of war. His Dunlending's heritage rule makes nearby friendly Dunland warriors fight harder, while his claim the throne ability makes him even more powerful if he is in the thick of fighting when the enemy general is slain. So the Dunlending heritage rule, so friendly Dunland warriors within 6 inches of Frecker gain +1 bonus to their fight value, and then claim the throne if the enemy general, so leader, I guess, but if the enemy general
I think
casualty gone.
I'll let you finish this.
Yeah. If the enemy general is removed as a casualty whilst within 6 inches of Frecker, then for the duration of the battle, friendly Dunland models treat Frecker as a banner with a range of 6 inches. Go on, Ali.
So yeah, I think general is going to be the new name for leader. Just as a distinction, because of where we've got warband leader, army leader, like
yeah.
I think that is what the new distinction is general, and then they will be the leader of your force.
Sure. Right.
But yeah, other than that,
what do we think?
Should we go on the model, because we haven't looked at the model properly yet?
Oh, we haven't looked at the model. I jumped straight to the. I figured, you've seen the model by now, but no, I should have definitely started at the model. So, what do you think on this guy, the big boy?
I actually really like this model. I much prefer it to Wolf, to be honest. If you've seen the trailer, which I know Elliot, you're not an anime fan, but he looks exactly like the guy from the trailer. I couldn't necessarily tell that's a plastic model, I think. Unlike, say, Frecker, you can, I think, and stuff like that. That generally, from what I can tell, that'll be like it could be forged, it could be plastic, which I think is quite good.
Is good. I guess it's just, I don't know, just his whole sort of vibe. He's kind of just, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm feeling the Frecker vibes. You know,
he's fat shaming.
he just doesn't look like a guy on.
Well, we know he's going to be strength 5 because girth does dictate strength in SBG.
You heard it here first. Yeah, strength 5 confirmed.
Yeah,
6 in the new edition. Who knows? Yeah,
but again, there's quite a lot of personality in that sculpt, very similar to Lord Fawn, which I think is a thing SBG more modern models lacked, as they've been plastic or 3D printed.
Right.
Whereas I think the thing that I liked a lot about the really old school Perry sculpts is there's always quite a lot of character in the models, which sometimes I think the computer design hasn't been able to recreate, but that seems to work quite well.
Gear, for example, like just very sort of straight, curvy lines. Like there's not really much going on. Like it's very pristine, and I think that's like with the character, like he's got a lot of sort of different detail going on that adds to the character. Where lots of these kind of new releases can be quite plain, like not on the sort of level with the character, like you say. So model's good. Model's cool, I guess. So rules. What do you think on this guy? You were saying about the buff.
It's another fight value buff for your lending warriors. Which, I mean, until we see what the actual profile for Dunlending Warriors and the layout of the edition is, I mean, I doubt it's a bad thing.
Yeah. So, but like, everything's fight 3. Oh, but everyone gets a +1 fight value bonus. So everything's fight 4 or whatever. Like, it has to be in line with the buffs, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping like it just is coincidence. We've got 2 models in a row who have fight value buffs, and it's not literally going to be 50% of heroes are going to have it.
Hopefully not. It would be. But like, I'm not against like buffing pieces like in the game. Like, I think they have a good role, but like. Maybe
it's been 6 inches fight value buff is quite a big one as well. So it's pretty much your battle line for the most part. Whereas unlike the current day Emerald 3-inch buff, it's kind of you have to be a bit more tactical in your placement.
But you rarely sort of see that now. Like, but I guess bigger is better. I don't know. That's clearly
that's how you use it. That counts.
And that's right, Ali. You would know. What do you think on the whole thing with the banner? If the enemy general is removed, like, do you think that's actually going to see much play?
Probably not. But then it is a 6-inch. Like Freck only has to be within 6 inches, so it is quite likely if you kill their general and Freck is alive that he will be within 6. But I think it's more of a nice bonus if it comes off rather
if
than
it comes up.
actually something that you are
Yeah.
going to rely on or plan.
Hunt for, yeah. But if you like, if he doesn't have too much more going on in his profile, like depending on how many points he is, is he really that good? But he might be sort of like an auto include for one of these sort of lists where he's the leader of. Like you might just have to sort of take him, and he
Yeah,
might be doing too much, like a Master Lake Town sort of vibe, right? He's just your leader, and that's it. Really doesn't really do too much else.
but we won't know until points and
We will not
profiles
know.
actually get released.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. We are about to enter November, so sometime. I mean, the articles are coming back now, every
Yeah,
every like weekish or so. So hopefully, they'll
my prediction's still second week of November.
what they will get the new edition. What
At
like
least
announcement?
pre-order.
Pre-order second week of November.
Yeah.
Okay, heard it here first, folks. We will hold him to that. And we'll be back with another emoji podcast next week. Then, end of next week to
When they announce the pre-order.
when they announce the pre-order.
If I get it right, Elliot has said he'll buy me the new box because he's
Sure,
generous like that.
sure, I am. I'm a nice guy. So is it on Fridays they announce pre-orders?
I don't know, to be honest.
I think it's Fridays. People may correct me.
But I think with though all of this, a lot of their scheduling is dictated by the movie guys. Because
Yes.
we've been a bit all over the place with when articles and that have come out.
I mean, it must have already all been cemented and set in stone on what's being, the timeline must have already been sorted, right?
You would think it may not be that.
I mean, considering what happened with the Rise of Angmar, maybe not. That
Yeah.
yeah, definitely blew over a bit. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this emoji podcast. So reviewing Frecker from a couple of weeks ago and the new model, the Lord Thorn of the World. So we will hopefully be back be back soon with more emergency podcasts. But that's going to do it for now. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching this emergency podcast from the Gollum's Gamers.